Most guys in your gym look the exact same every single year. They're skinny fat. They're moving the same weight every single year, yet they don't see a problem with that. They're in the gym 6 days per week. They're eating relatively clean, high protein, but every year they look the exact same. They're skinny fat, they look soft, and they barely put on muscle. I'm going to tell you exactly why that happens. You think the answer is bulking up. You think it's cutting down. You think it's your genetics. You think progress should be slow, but the real reason you're stuck isn't because of your potential. It's just your approach and the system that you're following. There are 3 main reasons why most guys stay skinny fat and look the same every single year. Reason number 1, you chase a pump. Yes, it's fun. Going to the gym, looking big in a tank top, staring at yourself in the mirror, that's fun. But I'm going to tell you, that's not going to put on muscle, okay? As a natural, you have to get stronger. And if you're not putting on muscle. And this goes to whether you're enhanced, but more so for natural guys. And a lot of the times you see the guys in the gym, they're lifting the same weight every single week, and a year later they're lifting the same weight, and they don't see a problem with that. They go into the gym, they chase a pump, they're not actively getting stronger. They bulk up for the winter and cut down for the summer. But when they cut down, they realize they didn't gain any fucking muscle. They gain all this fat and they feel big in their hoodie, but they didn't gain muscle. 1, because they're starting their bulk at a higher body fat percentage. Regardless of how fat they are, it's winter, they're bulking. It's the holidays, they want to eat food, they want to feel stronger. But the reality of it, you shouldn't be bulking. You need to get lean first. You need to follow a good training plan, because if you're not following a good training plan and you're getting all this weight, you're going to gain a lot of fat. So if you plan on bulking, get lean. That's number 1. Number 2, most of you guys are like, oh, it's bulking season. Let me gain 1-2 pounds per week, half pound per week, 4 pounds in a month. I need to hit this weight, 200 pounds by the end of my bulk before I cut. You don't need to gain all this weight. You shouldn't use the scale as a gauge to how well you're making progress, but instead how much stronger you're getting in the gym. You don't necessarily have to gain any weight. If you're getting stronger in the gym but you're staying the same body weight, that's a win. You're building muscle and you're not gaining any fat. If you're gaining 2 pounds per week and your strength's barely going up, that wasn't 2 pounds of anything other than fat. You do that every single year. You don't follow a structured training program. You're switching up your routines. You're not actively getting stronger. And most years, by the end of your bulk, you're not noticeably stronger. And when you cut down because you gain all this fat, you end up losing most of that strength anyways. And you look the exact same every single year. The guys who put on muscle, the most muscle, they're not switching their exercises every session. They're sticking with the same routine every single week, and they're focused on measurable progressive overload and actively getting stronger. Reason number 2, you try eating like a bodybuilder. You have an all or nothing approach. You're eating either chicken and rice or fucking Chinese food. And when you bulk up, you just bulk up sloppy and you end up eating everything in sight. You don't have a controlled approach to your bulk or your cut. If you're going to have a successful bulk or cut, we already established you need to be lean before you bulk. So get lean, but if you want to have a successful bulk, you need to do these 2 things. And that's track your food and track your body weight. If you don't do those 2 things, you're not going to know if you're eating enough food, and you could be massively undereating or overeating. And you could be gaining more fat than you think, or not eating enough to actually fuel your performance in the gym. So do those 2 things. Don't just eat for the sake of eating, because if you're not eating enough and you're eating too little, then you're not going to see good results. Number 3, you have no system. You copy workouts off TikTok, or you just try creating your own program and you don't even know if you're actually recovering from session to session, because you don't even know what that means. And you're just going through it, doing a bunch of sets, and a month goes by, you barely gain any strength. I can tell you if that's actually happening, then it could be your diet, but it's probably your training program, and you're just not recovering session to session. As a natural, you have to make sure that you're prioritizing recovery, because again, if you're not actively getting stronger, you're just going in chasing a pump, or you're doing a bunch of sets that you can't recover from, then you're never going to see strength gains. And if you don't see strength gains, you're not building muscle. Probably like, oh, my favorite influencer, he does all these different workouts to get his physique. No, he didn't. The guys who actually transform, they follow a system built around their body, their recovery, and their progression. Random effort never beats structured intensity. And I know this because I used to be that guy. I trained 6 days a week. I was the guy who did drop sets, supersets, chased the pump, was in the gym for 3 hours a day, 6 days per week. But once I cut the fluff, prioritized recovery, trained with intent, tracked my lift, and followed a real meal plan for my goals, I completely transformed. And for the longest time, I thought it was my genetics, and for the reason my progress was so slow. But the reality is you don't need better genetics. Sure, some people have better genetics than others. But if you're following a random approach and there's no structure behind why you're doing things, then you're not going to see the results that you want. So stop winging your workouts. Just like you shouldn't wing your diet, stop winging your workouts, because most people say diet and training are 50-50. I'd argue with that and say it's about 70 training, 30 diet. Especially if you've already been in the gym for 2-3 years. You need to dial in your training, because as we know, you can't just walk into the gym and do whatever you want and see results. When you first started, yeah, sure, you could do whatever you want. You could do 4 sets on every single exercise. You're still going to grow. But if you've been in the gym for 2-3 years now and progress is slow, you need to dial in the little things. And the little things being prioritizing your recovery and making sure that you could still see progress even 3 years into lifting. Because more protein, eating more chicken breast isn't going to get you better results. You need to fix your program and follow one fit for your body, your recovery goals, and one that you could actually see results from. Stop following random workouts from your favorite influencer online, switching up your routine, or trying to create your own and not knowing what the hell you're doing. Okay? Those are the 3 things that are keeping guys in the gym looking the exact same every single year. They're skinny fat and they look the exact same. They're moving the same weight, and those are the 3 reasons why. They haven't changed anything up since their first 1 to 2 years in the gym. They're probably doing the same thing as they did when they first started. And they're like, oh, I hit my genetic limit. No, you didn't. You're just a banana head, and you're doing the same shit that doesn't get you anywhere. That's called insanity. And most of you guys are fucking insane, doing the same shit and accepting slow progress every single year.